Hi guys, welcome to this video. This video is part of the series 60 Days to CAT. This is the fifth video in the series. In this video, I'm going to talk about the eternal VARC question. I keep getting this question again and again. A lot of students ask me when they are stuck between two answer choices, what to do. They believe that this is a certain problem that they are facing when it is what happens. It is very, very common that whenever you are solving a VARC question, right, you're able to eliminate, say, between A, B, C and D. A and C you are able to eliminate easily, and you are left with B and D, two answer choices. And you believe that this is an issue that you are facing. And I'm going to break your heart here. I'm going to be an absolutely terrible person here when I'm going to say this, and I'm going to ask you for a little bit of self-reflection here. Ask yourself what the issue is, right? Now, for example, you are left with B and D. Why cannot you select the correct answer from these two choices? You're left with only two choices, right? You've done the difficult job. You've let go of 50% of the answer choices. You've eliminated them. Now you've only got two options to go. Is this an actual problem, or is it pointing to a larger issue? That's something that you've got to ask yourself here. And why did I say I'm going to break your heart? This is the reason, right? You need to be an extremely logical and rational person here. Why do I say that? Because when you're left with two options, right, when you've been able to eliminate two options and you're left with two answer choices and you cannot figure out the answer, you cannot eliminate these two answers. Very simply put, what you've not been able to do is you've not been able to understand the difference between these two answer choices. I think you would agree with me, right? That is what has happened. For example, you eliminated A and C, you are left with options B and D. If you cannot figure out the answer from these two answer options, that means you've not truly understood what option B implies, what option D implies. You've not really been able to comprehend what they are implying, what they are saying, what do they stand for, what do they mean. That is where the problem is. The problem here is of understanding and not elimination, right? When you think about it, the reason why you're not able to eliminate the answer choices, that is driven by the fact that you're not able to understand the correct logic, the true meaning of the answer choices, right? There are only two possibilities here. Possibility number one, which is case number one, and which is what I'm talking about. In this question, right, you were able to eliminate A and C, you were left with B and D. Now, either if the question is 100% rock solid, does not have any logical errors, then that means you did not understand the meaning of these two answer options. This might be because of vocabulary. This might be because of you might never have read something like this. You might not have the sufficient language experience to break down the meaning of that particular phrase or sentence used by the author of the passage, or you're not able to differentiate between the two answer choices, right? What is their true implication, which again is further linked to your understanding and exposure to the language, right? Now the second case is the question actually is very subjective, and B and D there is wafer thin margin and it can go either ways, right? It's too subjective, it is inconclusive. In VARC you will always get some questions which will be borderline, right, and which will involve subjective interpretation. For these questions you cannot blame yourself because these can go either way. They are just far too subjective. So you leave these aside. All the other questions, majority of the questions, remember this case 2 is going to be for a very, very limited set of questions, right, which will have this level of subjectivity. For everything else, the problem is of understanding, right, of you not being able to comprehend the difference between the two answer choices. So your problem of not being able to select from two answer choices is actually a problem of understanding. Now, how do you improve your understanding? As I said, I broke your heart once. I'm going to do it again today. I'm going to do it twice in this video. There are no shortcuts for improving your comprehension or understanding, right? You cannot improve it within 1 hour or 30 minutes. There are no tangible formulas here. You read, you practice at this stage of your preparation with the amount of time left. This takes precedence over everything else, over reading as well. General reading, practice is super important. You analyze, identify the mistakes, especially the repeat mistakes you are making. So some very, very common mistakes: scope track, extreme answer options, missing the except in the question. Don't truly identifying what the question stands for, etc., etc. So you analyze and identify these mistakes, and then what do? You repeat this process, right? So it's a process driven prep. VARC is always driven by process. So you keep repeating this process. It's a circle. You move from read to practice to analyze to repeat. You keep moving in this circle n number of times, infinite number of times, and with each circle you keep improving, right? So that's something that you've got to do. As I said, additional point here, there are common VARC traps. You should not be getting stuck in those. I'll make a separate video for those as well, right? What are the common VARC traps that you should avoid, right? So this is what you need to do here. Next thing, guys, what more should you do? Is there anything else? There is resolve these questions, right? So this is a small little thing. You can just reattempt these questions, identify what you missed the first time around. Did you make any silly mistake? Did you not spot anything in particular? There are times when within that set time pressure, when the timer is going, we tend to skip details. Did you skip any details, right? Just jot down your findings, and whatever you can learn from these questions, try to do that, right? So make sure you've not made these silly mistakes. This is all for today. This is all for this video. So the problem of two answer options is not a problem itself. It's a problem pointing to understanding and comprehension. For that, you stick to the process of VARC prep, and that is what you need to do, right? Hopefully so. The point is clear to you now, and I hope this video helps you clarify this little doubt that you might have at the back of your mind. Thank you very much for watching this video, and happy learning.